What is up, guys? Today we are playing Batman Arkham Asylum and seeing if we can beat the entire story of Arkham Asylum without throwing a punch. The rules are pretty simple. We can't throw any punches, but we can use any environmental objects and also any of Batman's gadgets. Also, predator encounters are fine because we aren't throwing any punches when we are just cutting off the air circulation to their heads. With that said, let's dive in. First, we started with arresting the Joker and throwing him in a car to take him to Arkham Asylum.
Hey, Sharpie. Love what you've done with the place.
That's Walden Shop to you.
Then, of course, Joker escapes because we sent one guy and a doctor that skipped a leg day.
Joker's loose. Alert the warden.
Now, I'll be honest, when I started this challenge, I wasn't sure how I was going to beat these bad guys, so I tried a bunch of this, like stunning them, throwing batarangs, but nothing was working. But then it happened, basically on its own, too. I threw a batarang and it sent one of the goons right into the fence and electrocuted him. I threw the rest of them into the fence and the fight was over and snapped. I tried hiding from the second wave of goons because I knew the fences would turn off. But then as I'm watching Joker run away, I see another fence and I knew what I had to do. Next, we needed to take out Zaz, which is easy enough because this guy is basically deaf and could never hear a 260-pound man coming after him. After I got through the next room, I saw a bunch of guards getting high on some serious crap.
The room is full of poison gas. Anyone caught in there is dead.
Then the guard had the audacity to ask me if I could go in there and save them, and as a good Christian boy, I had to respectfully decline, but the temptation was too strong, and I had to at least get a whiff. Please. I got the guards easy, and knew there was a random goon that I would have to save and then knock out, but luckily I didn't have to save him at all, and I could just leave. Now this phrase would hurt me a lot in this run, secure area to continue, but luckily I could usually find an electric fence to send these guys into and it wouldn't be a big deal. Next I got to my first boss fight, and I must say I was a little nervous, but it turns out you don't actually need to fight this guy at all. In fact, right before I was about to die, the monster had a heart attack from how easily he threw me around and died right there in front of me. Next, I forced the guard to let me in his fort and demanded to go to the other side.
Joker went through that door. What's on the other side?
We call it extreme isolation. Only way in is via the transport system.
Open it.
Then this guy tells me he can just open the one door, so I smashed all his computer monitors so he can't watch Breaking Bad on Netflix anymore.
Bowles wasn't too smart.
To add to my frustration, I ran into two more goons and I looked everywhere for an electric fence or anything to help me finish these guys, but I couldn't find anything. And I couldn't progress without taking them out. I didn't have any of the tools like the explosive gel to help in this run. So I was basically out of luck and had to throw a couple punches to knock these guys out to progress. So if you can think of anything, let me know in the comments. Next area was simple enough, next to an electric fence. Then I went through a vent and watched a couple of my guard friends get gunned down that I probably could have prevented. Getting past these guards was easy enough.
I need to be smart. Find a different way past them.
No problem.
And then I just suddenly took down a Skype call.
The Arkham jumps.
Next room was another predator room, so no punches, no problem. Then we finally found Officer Bowles looking like he just finished an opera. And then I saw how far I could push Riddler into just giving me the answer to his stupid riddles.
Observed portrait. A painting of something sharp. You know, portrait, painting, picture on the wall, in a frame, Warden, Sharp, that old guy who runs the place.
In a painting? On the wall?
Then we finally got out into the nice fresh air. Then I realized that this moon is way too close to the Earth to be okay. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yep, we're screwed. Despite our impending doom, I still had other pressing matters, like my car. Luckily, there was a convenient electric gate right next to the car that made these goons fairly easy to take down without punching. I then received a gift from the butt of my car that would help this run immensely. The explosive gel. Then we started following Gordon's nicotine addiction, which led to another part of the island. But since we wanted to avoid conflict to make this easy, I went another route. Next we had another predator room, which is easy enough. I then told the doctors that I was in charge now and asserted my dominance by throwing a couple of batarangs at them. Then I got to use the explosive gel to see if it worked to take down goons. It takes a couple tries, but eventually it does knock them out. Not the most effective for large groups, but it would help a lot in the run.
Inside and out. I am quite aware that this job
Then we saved Dr. Young.
requires strength.
And next we headed to the next doctor, who had the audacity to lie to my chiseled face.
I'm sorry. I tried to tell you. I couldn't speak. But it's a trap!
They didn't gag your mouth, you spoke just fine. Anyways, luckily there was another electric fence in this room. We were able to take these guys out fairly easy. Then we headed back and used the explosive gel a few times to get rid of some of the guys in the way. Then we hopped on the elevator. Saw Jim Gordon die right before us, thanks to the moon's gravity pulling him into an abyss. Without his glasses on, I could finally do something I've always wanted to do.
I'm sorry, Jim.
I came into a special room that did not pass the vibe test. Then finally ran into our first encounter with Scarecrow, which was completely easy with no punches. After the encounter, I was about to use the explosive gel on these guys, but decided that running away was probably the best course of action. And I think by some miracle, I hit a quick save glitch that let me go into the room without securing the area first. Getting the real Gordon was easy enough, and I got to show him how much I respect women.
You took longer than
Then we had a fight with Bane. This one was going to be tougher. I tried letting him smack his face against the wall a few times, but if you don't punch him, he'll just regenerate some of his health and you can't advance the fight. I tried batarangs and explosive gel, but nothing would work. So unfortunately I had to throw at least 2 punches to trigger the animation to get on top and cut off his tight tank supply. After that, I tried avoiding hitting other goons that Joker sent in and just focusing the punches on Bane, putting it at 6 punches for this fight. Then gave Bane a ride home. And saw this bullcrap.
I don't like leaving you here.
Luckily, I took 2 years of Spanish in high school and knew bruja, biblioteca, and gato.
It's Spanish for witch.
Muy bien.
After all that, we headed to my vacation bat cave and said the sexiest word ever.
On.
Oh yeah. Then we proceeded to go through the tunnels and had to deal with more goons in order to progress. It was a little challenging at first since there was no gates and too many people to do the explosive gel. Luckily they got knocked out when they pulled off a waterfall, so once I figured that out, the rest were easy. Most of this run is just avoiding conflict at all costs, but sometimes goons are just in the way. But I found out they have an invisible barrier and won't go across doors to other areas. So I would enter a little bit to get them to run at me and then just use the explosive gel to send them flying. I thought that was the last goon, so I walked in and closed the door and found 2 bozos just camping.
Hola, niño.
And I couldn't go out the door now because I have to secure the area. But since there was just 2 of them, the explosive gel was pretty easy to take them out. Then we had another predator room. I then realized I was going to have to try and take out all these goons. But luckily I had an electric fence again and made short work of them.
Come on! You want somebody?
Next we had the library, which I was nervous about. Then I remembered if you try and escape, the fences will turn on. So once I did that, the room was cake. Then we saved some unfortunate souls by literally almost killing them with a giant chandelier. Then we're on the hunt for Dr. Young's notes, which included taking out some knuckleheads that were breaking into the office.
Let's see.
As I'm leaving though, some guys broke in and I couldn't go out the door, but then I remembered I could just leave the way I came in. Then I walked down an obscene long hallway. Saw my parents die just like every other Batman movie. I was a little nervous of the skeletons at first, but turns out that only one explosive gel knocks them out, so that was easy, and finished the second encounter with Scarecrow. Then I saved Dr. Young, and by saved I mean just changed the way she died.
Oh my god!
Get out of the way!
Then we had some other henchmen to take care of, and a quick jump out of the way revealed an electric fence, which made this easy. Then I had to do some careful maneuvering to get past these guys, and luckily I must have hit it just right.
Did you do it?
Then I saved another doctor and stepped on his friend.
Is he okay?
I then found the warden.
There's always a way out.
How many freaks are in this place?
Had an existential crisis.
Whoa, what?
You guys are...
Then had to fight some of Harley's henchmen, which was easy at first thanks to the electric fence. But then she let the next wave in, and so I tried to find another fence, and luckily I did if you go through this door. Then we had our boss fight with Harley, which was pretty simple. We just either had to force them to stay on the electric panels or send them to their deaths in the abyss. But now at this point they let the crazies out of their cell and they pop up randomly. I've played this game so many times I pretty much know where all of them hide, but still it was a little scary not using punches. Then we headed to the garden and sent a couple of guards into the electric fence. Went through another predator room. Then went and saved the janitor by using the high ground.
Come on! I'm gonna carve my name on your face.
Then I sent a couple more goons to their dooms. And cleared another predator area. Then we had our boss fight with two Titan henchmen, which I was worried about because of the whole experience with Bane. But luckily they don't regenerate, and once they knock themselves against the wall a few times, you can still hop on them and take some hits on the other Titan goon. Once they're on their last leg though, all you need to do is use some explosive gel to knock them out, but if you don't do it quick enough, they will regenerate a little bit of health again. After the fight, I found a bunch of henchmen waiting for me, and I found it best to just leave their sorry butts.
Let's finish this. Get alive, bleed on the ground!
Poison Ivy had gotten stronger, but her plants would actually help me more than anything, thanks to knocking out all these crazies. Then we had some more people blocking my way, but they were no problem really. Then I took out this guard and cleared another predator room. Then we had our third encounter with Scarecrow, which went about expected. Saw my middle school self at a dance party. And whatever this is. Then we had more skeletons, and with enough space to lay down a couple of gels, they were no problem. But But then we got to the hard part. There was really only enough time to put down 1, maybe 2 gels before the skeletons start spawning. And with no fences or ways to throw them off the platform, this was going to be hard. And there really isn't enough time to place any more gels without them hitting you before it's finished, because the gel animation has to be fully complete before you can detonate. So I ended up dying quite a bit on this one. I worked out if you can time it just right before they spawn, you can get them all blown up before they hit you.
Rush things this time. I'm going to save every moment of your terror as I slowly destroy you.
Then once the Titan spawns, you just let him take out the rest of them for you. And then finally throw the batarang to finish him. And just like that, we beat Scarecrow with no punches. After that, we took out some more goons the old-fashioned way. Saw Scarecrow become a snack that I probably could have avoided, but decided not to.
Don't do it, Crane.
And then we had to get the spores out of Killer Cloc's lair. I don't even know why they have this game, because I just saw him outside like 5 minutes ago, and if I could lift it with this much ease, surely Croc can too. Then we got our Ultra Claw, which proves very helpful in bringing down entire walls, and also people. Then we cleared another Predator room, and thankfully we bought the range amplifier for the hacking device and could skip this fight altogether. Then we had a surprise fight in the elevator waiting room, which was pretty simple thanks to the fences and a Titan henchman throwing everyone around. Then we had our boss fight with Poison Ivy, which you don't have to fight the guard, she throws at us so we can beat her with just a few batarangs and the explosive jump. And we finally reached the fireworks show, which means it's the end of the game now. I had quite the amount of people waiting outside for me, and luckily we don't have to fight them or anyone inside. Then we finally reached Joker. The first part of the fight was pretty easy, with just a couple of Titan henchmen, some normal henchmen. It took a second, but we got through. But then we got to the final boss. The henchmen were pretty easy thanks to the electric fence, but I couldn't figure out what to do with Joker. I tried explosive gel, batarangs, and I also tried sprinting and just doing a flying kick because that technically wasn't punching. But unfortunately none of that worked. He still gets up and keeps the same health. I still had to punch him at least 2 times to take down his health. And then we had the end game cutscene, which ended with a perfect punch to add insult to injury. So, can we beat Batman Arkham Asylum without throwing a punch? Unfortunately, no. You must take down 2 guards, Bane, and Joker with punches to progress, but ultimately you can complete the whole game without throwing a punch. Thanks for joining us on this odd adventure. This is my first video ever making something like this, so if you enjoyed it, let me know by liking and commenting on the video. Or if there's anything you think I can improve on, let me know down in the comments below.